Were you given any answers in today's hearing today, or just left with more questions?
I think we were left with more questions, and it's unfortunate because, as I stated in my closing remarks, the American people have a lot of questions, and they deserve answers. And unfortunately, the director didn't provide any answers. She only led to more questions. And I think the most concerning part of the hearing today for me, and I would say for most of the members, was the fact that we all are leaving this hearing with less confidence that an event like this will ever happen again than we did before. We aren't confident that the Secret Service, led by Director Cheadle, has the ability to prevent something like this from happening again. I mean, this wasn't just an isolated incident like you see where someone snuck a gun in and they were sitting in the crowd, camouflage, they pulled out. People saw this guy climb the roof with a gun and were alerting the law enforcement. There was a lack of communication. We question whether there's enough training, whether there's enough, enough knowledge of how to properly secure an area. I asked the director, was that rooftop in the area where they were protecting the president? He said, no, it was outside of it. It's 150 yards. I mean, that is not acceptable, and I don't think any American who is watching this hearing feels that her answers were acceptable.
So what should be done next? We're going to talk about it. Consent resolution. Is there anything Congress will do now?
Well, I think the Speaker Johnson said he's going to appoint a commission to get to the bottom of the actual shooting. I don't know what role that commission is going to play in reforms to the Secret Service. We'll work with the commission any way possible. If there's a role for oversight in working in a bipartisan manner to try to reform the Secret Service, then we'll certainly do that. But I think what you saw today is a sincere committee hearing where every single member truly wants to have confidence in the Secret Service, but unfortunately we don't.
What do you make of some of the comments about DEI? I mean, there was one comment from Representative Burchett about being
well, one of the things that I want to, right. The question was about DEI. One of the things I want to make certain she was honest about. Someone asked her, I don't know if it was Groffman or who, or it could have been Burchett, asked about if her goal was to hire the best people or to hire, check a box or whatever. And then they asked her about, was there an objective to hire a certain number of female officers? And she said, I believe she answered there was never that objective. But it's my understanding on the website, when she was first employed, that there was a reference to my goal is to make the department have 30% female or whatever. Look, we're all about hiring the best people here. The number one priority is to protect the leaders of our country, protect the presidential candidates, to protect foreign dignitaries. It doesn't matter if that's 100% female, 100% male, 100% white, 100% black. It doesn't matter. Just hire the best people. And that's the whole basis for Republicans' argument with DEI. So I don't know if this was had anything to do with DEI, but I think the goal for the Secret Service director should be to hire the best people. And one of the points that some of the military members made is you want Secret Service directors that obviously can shield the president, and those did a great job. Those Secret Service direct agents that went in and after the shots were fired that surrounded President Trump risked their lives. They were heroes. They did what they were supposed to do. But it was very noticeable that some of them were several feet short to properly cover Donald Trump, and I think that's a valid question. If you have a tall president, I've been around Trump a few times, I'd say 6'2", I don't know, roughly, but how tall my son is, I would say it's about right. And I think that there was clearly some deficiencies in height around him, and I think that's a legitimate question that should be asked, and that's not a sexist question or a discriminatory question. I think that's a solid question. So I don't think anyone asked anything inappropriately today, but certainly we want to make sure that they're hiring the best people and they're not just checking boxes that a lot of the people in the Biden administration are clearly focused on checking boxes. They want They want cabinets. They want everything to look like America. You hear them say that all the time. We want the best people, and the taxpayers deserve the best. Taxpayers work hard, pay taxes to Washington. They expect the best people to be in the positions, not just someone because of their gender or their sexual orientation or their race.
You said you and Congressman Raspberry sent a joint letter calling on Sheila to be fired. Will that go to Biden? Who will that letter go to?
We'll get that out to you real quick. You should have it in minutes.
Okay. And there was also some testimony about disparity in Secret Service agents based on Donald Trump's event versus Joe Biden's event. There wasn't really a clear answer about that from what I heard. Will you be doing more investigation?
Yeah, absolutely, because, I mean, it's no secret there were a lot more people at Donald Trump's events than Joe Biden's events, so we can surely agree on that. Donald Trump has significantly bigger crowds. So if there were significantly more people at Biden events than Trump events, to me, that's a red flag there. When I say significantly more people, significantly more agents at Biden's events than Trump's events, that raised a red flag. Go ahead.
Last question on just one other topic in the light of President Biden saying he's not running for re-election. What does this mean, if anything, for the impeachment report, your investigation into
Well, that's all in Speaker Johnson's hands. I mean, we've, I think, done a very good job of tracing the money, following the money. That's what we say we would do. We were very transparent with the American people about how much money Joe Biden's family took in from our adversaries around the world. After a year plus of investigating, I don't think anyone could determine a single legitimate business that Joe Biden's family had. So when you're talking about tens of millions of dollars being wired from foreign adversaries into the bank accounts of the president's immediate family, and they can't say a single thing they did to receive the money, I think that's a problem. So I applaud the Oversight Committee. I think we did a tremendous job following the money trail. It's up to Speaker Johnson what happens. One of the big issues today is obviously if Joe Biden's not well enough to finish a campaign, is he well enough to serve as president? And I think that's a question that's going to be debated on the floor. But I'll close with this. I think we had a great hearing today. I think it was every member asked legitimate questions. I don't think there was a single question asked that every American wouldn't be asking. And it's very disappointing, the performance that the director gave us today. Thank you all.